television come on TV. I show with this big pretty smile. Nothing funny. Look on the life we living. Look on the life we living. Look on the life we living.
Alright, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. First, let me start this video off by saying that a part of me is grieving. You know what I'm saying? Just to know that the system in the country which I love so much, my country of birth, is so deeply corrupted. And also knowing that there's a great number of our own people who are so blinded to the truth that they find joy in rejoicing over the demise of any one of us that rise above the rest. Hail Marcus Mosiah Garvey, because that crab in a barrel syndrome in Jamaica is truly active. So if you've been tuned into SouFLoTV for a while, you know now that I've done multiple videos on this, and one of the things that people always say to me that really don't like Vybz Kartel and wish he stays in the position he is in now, which is incarcerated, they always say, well, SouFlo, how you gonna explain away the whole text message where say him chop up fine? The man not only commit the crime, him even documented it. Well, people, here we are, sitting here on the 16th day of July 2018, in the midst of this appeal, right? Standing before the Supreme Court. The metadata of one of the damning text messages prosecutors used to convict top entertainer Vybz Kartel and Sean Storm of murder was created 6 weeks before the victim's death or alleged death. This is what the attorney put before the court today. So remember, Vybz Kartel's attorney said they have evidence that they are sure that their clients will walk, right? And then the judge last week gave the go-ahead to accept these evidence into court. People are saying, SouFlo, well, how come all this just a come out now? Because this sounds like something where they should have walked already on. Well, the judge, Burt Reynolds, that was presiding over the case initially, he was the one that was at fault. And this is why the now team of lawyers is also charging that judge that presided over the case, he made a lot of mistakes and he exercised gross negligence, because these are the things that he said was not allowed into the courtroom in defense of these men while they were fighting for their freedom. We're going to explain what metadata is, but listen again. The metadata for one of the most damning text messages which prosecutors used to convict top entertainer Vybz Kartel along with Sean Storm and the others of murder was created 6 weeks before the victim's death or alleged death. Now, I don't know how you line this up on a timeline, but if you like Kartel or not, at this very moment, if you're a person of truth, you have to admit that if that came 6 weeks prior, you can clearly see what was going on here. And I told people already, me tell you, say I cut and paste them, did I cut and paste the thing, right? And look at where it has led us today. Look at where we are at now. Now let me say shout out to this team of stellar attorneys, okay? So Bianca Samuels, one of the attorneys for Sean Storm. Let me also say big respect to Vybz Kartel, because Sean Storm is really a loyal soldier, because Sean Storm could have actually lied on Vybz Kartel and corroborated with fake evidence and sink him forever, and the brother's so loyal he never did, right? And in return, of course, Sean Storm, Vybz Kartel has made sure that Sean Storm is also represented by top attorneys, and not just one, but a team of, okay? So Bianca Samuels, one of the attorneys for Sean Storm, was referring to the text message reportedly found on one of the mobile phones taken from Kartel, in which it was said that Clive Lizard Williams chop up fine. Now, remember, he never said in that text message, Clive Lizard Williams chop up fine. He just referred to something we chop up fine, right? And sometimes when we are talking in Jamaica, we say, yo, you done with that beat there? Yeah, man, everything done. It cook and curry. Everything chop up fine, it done. This is what I call cutting and pasting. They were able to use that and put it, mix and master it and put it in a way that they wanted to put it to sound damning, right? Samuels was making her submission to the appeal filed by the two entertainers against their conviction and prison sentence. She said evidence presented during their 17-week murder trial that ended in April of 2014 showed that the metadata was created on July 6th, 2011, 6 weeks before prosecutors claim Williams was killed. Wow. Samuels noted too that there was evidence that the mobile phone taken from Vybz Kartel was used while the instruments were in the custody of the police. Come on, people, I've said this many times on SouFLoTV before. There were a lot of pictures shown on social media. And you know Vybz Kartel a wild man already. Him have him woman in him yard, him call wife, everybody know shorty, right? But you know say girl jump on the man left, right and center. Girl a run down the Gaza youth. That's what him say, right? What you expect him to do? Check him cell phone. Enough girl do all kinds of things. These police officers that came in touch or contact with the cell phone, what they did was they released a lot of these to social media. And it was all over the internet. And a lot of bloggers and vloggers ran with those pictures, and they're still out there circulating to this very day, right? So it's no doubt that yes, his cell phone was in, and matter of fact, even the police officer admitted to taking the phone away from the evidence room and then later returning it after using it. But here's what he said: "Me only use it to make one phone call." Really? So explain to us how all those pictures suddenly ended up circulating online from that phone. And you know Vybz Kartel carried multiple cell phones. So this one has left me puzzled, said Samuels, who along with Isat Buchanan and Dania Allen represents Sean Storm. The panel of 3 judges hearing the appeal appeared surprised by the assertion. "Our silence was sharing in your puzzlement," said President of the Court of Appeal Justice Dennis Morrison. You understand what I'm saying? So the judges presiding over this case at the moment, dumbfounded and silenced by this. Should I say it's a great day in court for Vybz Kartel and his co-accused? You're damn right it is. I'm not going to say keep rejoicing or start rejoicing now, because we have to see this thing all the way through. But when the judge outrightly said them puzzled also, it is something to look at. Who along with Justice Patrick Brooks and Frank Williams are hearing the case. So these are the 3 judges, Supreme Court judges presiding over the case. Basically asking the same questions that the public is asking. Wait there, hold on. So if them know said that evidence existed 6 weeks, metadata shows that it existed 6 weeks before, how come it was not accepted in the courts before? And again, we revert to exactly what his team of lawyers are saying. The judge that presided over this case made a lot of mistakes, which cost these men their freedom. Samuel said this raises more than a reasonable doubt about the integrity of the evidence, which should not have been put to the jury. Alright, let me explain what is metadata, because some people earlier said on SouFLoTV, me no care what them find, the man them guilty. Really? Let me tell you something. Cell phone location and metadata has put many people behind bars, convicted them, and has also freed many. Okay? So this is not something we can just look over. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You might look at Vybz Kartel and say, oh, he was corrupting the minds of the youth with him lyrics and him music. And I can actually name you about 1,000 Vybz Kartel songs that has absolutely no curse words in them. And they're very uplifting, inspirational, and educational. Right? So when you hear the bad one them, even if that was all he was making, this is still not what justice is made of. You can't convict the wrong person for something and then expect for everything to be right. That is not justice. Metadata gathers and summarizes behind the scene details of information that is captured. In most information technology usage, metadata means an underlying definition of or description. Some examples of metadata include time and date of creation of the data, creator or author of the data, the file size, the means of creation of the data, whether it was text or voicemail, purpose of the data. Kartel had declared his innocence, The man said, "My hands are clean of Clive Williams' blood." That was the declaration of dancehall entertainer Vybz Kartel in his unsworn statement at his murder trial in 2014. But hear this run deep, no blows and skirt. Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, he said, "My lord," addressing the judge, "my hands are clean of Clive Williams' blood. If indeed Williams is deceased," he went on to say, "there was a group of persons conspiring against me and my friends, my lord." He referred to the den. Listen who him point out, He referred to the den. The dancehall artist said, the National Security Minister Peter Bunting, who he said took his music and image to the United States, claiming that Vybz Kartel lyrics is glorifying scamming, my lord. The dancehall artist had said that Bunting said that there were 4 essential elements that are mashing up Jamaica, and I was one of them, my lord. Kartel said that the statement was prejudicial to his case, which you're damn right it was. Him along with Peter Bunting, along with, at the time, our police commissioner, Owen, I forgot what his name was, I believe it was Ellington, I'm not sure, but who came out and said Vybz Kartel is responsible for a gang that is responsible for hundreds of murders across the island. How do you make a friggin' statement like that on national television right after the man is convicted, right? And just fade into the wind. If you're making this kind of statement, given the position of authority that you are in, you have to come with some evidence. They did that to Tommy Lee recently. I talk about Tommy Lee is the leader of a gang that's responsible for how many murders. And Tommy Lee have to ball out and say, "Dog, I entertainment me do I want to talk about." You see it? But for some reason, this has been allowed to settle on top of Vybz Kartel's head. And he has beared the brunt of this. Right? He went on to say, check it. The Crown had led evidence at the murder trial that Williams was beaten to death at Kartel's house at 7 Swallowfield Avenue in Havendale, St. Andrew, on August 16th of 2011. It is alleged that Williams was beaten over 2 missing guns, and that body was never found. Now we're talking about cell phone evidence only. And don't forget, it has been proven now that that cell phone also shows metadata cell phone location bouncing off of towers in a whole nother city around the time that this prosecution team claims that the victim or alleged victim was somewhere else being murdered. Now people are saying that don't mean nothing because anybody's cell phone can be somewhere else while them they're somewhere else. I agree. But is it normal for you to leave your cell phone and travel to another city to do business or whatever you do? Or give your cell phone to someone else to take somewhere else? Isn't that the purpose of why the cell phone was developed? Had it not been for the cell phone, we would have still been using a house phone we hook up to a wall, right? And nobody cannot reach you unless you are home. So why then would this individual leave his cell phone in a whole nother city? And how conveniently that it was left in a whole nother city on the alleged day of his demise. Come on, people. You know, have to wake up. SouFLoTV there, you know, I'm not lead out no fool nation. I'm not leading out and endorsing no stupidity. Everyone can see clearly through what is going on here. And like I said before, I'm going to say it again. Big up to the team of lawyers, this team of attorney. They are doing a stellar job. Today was another winning day in court because not only was this able to poke a big hole in the prosecution's case, this just blew this whole thing wide open. Alright? A freedom was a man. The man them gone too long. A SouFLoTV. I'm out.